My name is Kristin Sullivan. I serve as Energy Manager for the City of Philadelphia. The City of Philadelphia first got involved in demand response program because we saw an opportunity to earn some revenue at no cost to us. Essentially, we had to put out an RFP and find a curtailment service provider, and we didn't really have to have a contract amount per se. So we didn't have to deal with our budget and finance. We didn't have to deal with our risk management teams and legal teams all that much because there was no money going out the door. It was an all in the door money type of situation, which made it easier than your typical RFP to push forward. And once we started talking about and seeing some revenues, it just snowballed from there. The city's curtailment strategy is different for every facility. It depends on the nature, the use, and occupancy of that facility. For our art museum, we have to be very aware of the humidification requirements for the billions of dollars of art that's there. We have different facilities with very different needs. We've got tenants that are union-related labor that has a very strict adherence to ranges of temperature comfort controls. So it's different for every facility, and we work with EnerNOC to create curtailment plans that are right there on the EnerNOC platform, especially on emergency day, to say, you know, hey airport, hey water department, these are the things you said you were going to do. Are we engaging in each of those pieces of your curtailment plan? Some of the benefits we've experienced firsthand with demand response is much more awareness from not just our facilities personnel, but our own tenants, our city employees, on energy curtailment and what it means to a degree. It's hard to educate 28,000 people, which is how many employees we have in the city. The fact that these people know about an energy program, and some of them are always going to have a negative attitude no matter what, but then there's a lot of people who are really positive towards it. And I think we've really been able to pull out some energy champions due to that kind of outreach and pushing that behavior change element that demand response requires. Some of the interesting ways we've put demand response payments to work for the City of Philadelphia are through, indirectly through an energy efficiency fund that because of our earnings, we've been able to make the case that budget and finance of the city should set aside money for energy efficiency and create some sort of gap financing where we're encouraging our facilities personnel to choose the better, more efficient piece of equipment, and then we'll pay for the difference in cost there with that energy efficiency fund. The other important aspect of this is that we currently don't share the savings with our facilities. And again, the City of Philadelphia essentially pays its bills, which really creates a difficult situation to drive facilities to really act because they're not seeing anything directly just yet. But because of the demand response program, we have had really great conversations and have actually had confirmation from our budget and finance that we will be sharing 50% of the earnings with each facility in the general fund. And that's a first. That's truly groundbreaking. I know it doesn't sound like it, but this has now opened the door to pushing forward departmental accountability in each of our departments, which will start a debit and credit type of energy bank that will really start to drive efficiencies and incentivize our departments to be more conservative with energy. Well, we partnered with EnerNOC through a bid process, through an RFP process, where we were looking for an energy management consulting firm that was going to help us specifically with electricity procurement. And we looked at a retail approach, and we started to learn about the wholesale approach, and we really liked what we saw with the South River consulting portion of EnerNOC that was working with the Brick Pack in Baltimore. And that was a really, we thought, innovative and effective way to approach this, especially with our size and our ability to enter into a sub-account with PJM. And so to get that transparency was something that only EnerNOC seemed to really have a handle on compared to some of the other respondents in our RFP. Once the City of Philadelphia signed on with EnerNOC, it really was a partnership from the beginning. EnerNOC is our back office, essentially, in terms of electricity procurement. We rely on EnerNOC to really keep an eye on PPL, who is our third-party supplier, and how PPL is charging and when and where, and looking at working capital balance, cost to carry. And then EnerNOC reports back to us on a regular basis, quarterly, and then also we get PPL's reports that we also have EnerNOC take a look at and kind of review that with us on a regular basis. So this is a month-to-month, day-to-day phone calls with Noel Chesser and Amy York, and we work really closely. We've also kind of broadened our work together as we're looking to put out an RFP for our natural gas, which is a lot more simple than electricity procurement, but nonetheless, we're looking for that guidance. The City of Philadelphia has two different contracts with EnerNOC. One is for curtailment service provider and one is for electricity procurement. And I work with Lindsay Paris for the demand response program, and she has been really amazing. She puts up with all of my issues, all of my questions. She's right there with me. She's right there with me to talk to my facilities personnel if and when I need to, provide me with all different kinds of information. It's been great because EnerNOC initially didn't have that, and that's something I had complained to EnerNOC about, and they actually responded, and they responded quickly and provided me this, this assistance, and it's really worked well. On the electricity procurement side, I mainly work with Noel Chesser, who also just a brilliant guy and very patient with us as the City of Philadelphia, and has just really provided consistent, thoughtful feedback and services for the city throughout the electricity procurement process. And then we do get the services of Amy York every quarter when we go through our quarterly reports with the two of them. They come and visit. We go over in detail ARR, FTR, all the ancillary services, looking at unit costs, talking about forecasting of what our costs are going to be, how we're going to purchase into FY16, FY meaning fiscal year 16. And so we really dig into the details, and Noel shows his appreciation just in the way he answers, that I'm looking into this stuff deeply, and he loves answering the questions, I think. So what EnerNOC does, I think, better than other curtailment service providers, for example, is, they really have gotten innovative in trying to deal and trying to address some of the client issues. Most clients are strapped for cash, strapped for money, and so what they've done is say, hey, we're going to put in this technology, these pulses, and you don't have to pay a dime for them. We'll just kind of take it out of the split that you get from the revenue. And that kind of stuff is really what was enticing for the City of Philadelphia. On the electricity procurement side, I mean, it goes back to the expertise that Noel Chesser and Bert have, and that team has in the wholesale approach, and knowing PJM like the back of its hand. I think that definitely sold us, and it's proven to be a great strategy for the city.